Hey, everybody, we are back at it again, here to report what's going on across the world as it relates to chiropractic. New stuff coming up in New Zealand, some updates about our attorneys and the cases we have going there. Australia, we're going to be talking about my visit. All my dates are firmed up. I'm ready to share that information with you. In the United States, we have a couple things that have popped up. And of course, in Canada, a lot going on there as well. So make sure you pay attention to everything in this week's report. Well, good morning, our warriors. This is Bharon Hoag. I am the executive director of the Chiropractic Defense Council and OneChiropractic, coming to you today, July 9th, for your reports. Guys, there's just so much going on. I don't even know really where to start. My goal is always to keep these as short as I can, but give you the meat of what's happening. My biggest theme today is just sticking with diligence. We're having some wins. It was just a big win that happened in Canada that is going to set precedent. Finally, we have one of the colleges in Canada that has been beaten and shown to be biased in what they were doing. And it's a huge victory. We're blessed to have the same attorney that did that case as well. So we're finally starting to make some headway. It's been a long run and things are moving in the right direction. The truth is finally starting to prevail. And we want to share all of that with you. So we're just persistently going to continue to move forward and do the work that needs to be done. So thank you for all of you watching these every other week and staying clued into what's been going on and why you're contributing to an organization like ours and the work that's being done. So we just can't thank you enough. So let's get to our reports. All right, New Zealand. Well, I had a conversation with our attorney getting an update on the 6 cases that we have going on throughout New Zealand. These are cases that are still kind of laying over from the mandates, where the government is still accusing these individuals of violating rules and mandates, and they're still trying to penalize them for that. We're pretty consistent. We had a great conversation where we were sharing strategy and updating our legal team on the successes we're having in other parts of the world. But I wanted to remind you guys that there's still this undercurrent within New Zealand of not wanting to let go of the control that they had during the pandemic time. Now we have this new flare-up of bird flu. I do not see it happening. As a matter of fact, even within the FDA trials here in the United States for those bird flu vaccines, the reports are coming out worse than what COVID's reports were as far as the death or the adverse reactions to those that were vaccinated. I do not see this turning into another pandemic thing. I think they're going to try to create a little bit of scarcity, but we're not going to see, from my opinion and everything that we're seeing, we're not going to see a massive shift going in that direction, similar to what we saw during the COVID pandemic. But it's just funny to me that they're still trying. They're still throwing things up the flagpole and seeing what they can get done. But, we're confident at this point that we're not going to see any massive shutdowns or any massive attempts of the governments to try and control like they did back in 2022. With that said, we're still keeping our team very much abreast of what's going on. We have our finger on the pulse. We're more prepared than we ever were before. But I just don't see anything moving forward to the degree anyway of what we saw back then. So just wanted to remind you that those cases are still going. Now, I am slated to have a conversation with the leadership in New Zealand here in the next week and a half. That should give me a little bit more insight of some proactive things that we're going to be doing to continue to push forward and ensure that chiropractic is the #1 healthcare choice there in New Zealand. So we love you guys. Just wanted to give you a brief update on where we're at with those cases. We're still pushing forward. I still believe we'll win in the end. We've just got to push it until there's no other place to push it. So we're just going to be resilient and continue to represent and defend those individuals. So we appreciate you. God bless you, New Zealand. All right, Australia. Hey, guys. Well, I'm excited. We're only a couple of weeks away, and I will be in country, and I'm excited. All of the dates are secured, all the locations, all of that stuff. In this email, you will see a link to be able to download the flyer that we will put out that has addresses. There's a place for you to do a QR code for you to kind of RSVP. We are trying to make sure we get a count just in case we have more people show up. We want to make sure we have appropriate room. So if you could please do me a favor, scan the QR code, let people know that you're coming. You don't have to do that. It's just a request. If you get this later or you're sharing this with colleagues and they don't have the opportunity to scan the QR code, then by all means, please come in. But I'm gonna read through this list real quick. So I'm starting off in Cairns at the ACA conference. I'm speaking Sunday during lunch. So that'll be Sunday the 28th. I'll be at the ACA hotel. I don't know what that is right off the hand, but you guys know where that is. On Monday, July 29th, I will be at Sunshine Coast. I'll be at Coast Chiropractic in Kiwana. All of these meetings are at 7 p.m. So just know that that is in place in that particular area. On Wednesday, 31st, I'll be in Perth. We'll be at Up Chiropractic. On Friday, the 2nd of August, we'll be in Adelaide. I'm going to be speaking on the campus of the Australian Chiropractic College. On Monday, the 5th of August, I'm in Melbourne CBD. We'll be at the Superwell Albert Park. On Wednesday, the 7th, we'll be in Melbourne, a little bit outside of downtown at the Langwarren Family Chiropractic. And then on Tuesday, the 8th of August, we'll be in Sydney at the Chiro H3 office. So I'm going to, again, grab the flyer. There's addresses on there. You can scan the QR code for the appropriate event you want to go to. That just gives us a count. There's no cost or anything associated to it. We just want to make sure we have enough room with where we're going. But I'm excited to get there. We have a lot to share with you. More things are happening as it relates to the pediatric issue, as it relates to our censorship issues. We've just got a lot going on in Australia right now, and I really want to bring everybody together. I want everyone to understand the steps that are being taken, what we're doing, and why it's so imperative that we continue to organize in Australia because of these and other things that we suspect may be happening. I do want to mention this briefly because I had someone ask me this question about the bird flu, and do I feel like that's going to resonate into another pandemic or something similar to COVID? The answer is no. I don't believe that's going to happen. The results that are coming out from the FDA clearances for the vaccines for the bird flu are horrible. They're actually worse than the test trials for COVID. And so I cannot see any government, after going through what they've been through. We're just now starting to win cases in different countries as it relates to what governments were doing and mandating something they should have never been mandating. So I really can't see them going as stern. I'm not saying there's not going to be some talk about it. I'm sure you're going to start seeing recommendations, but the mandates and the shutdowns, I do not expect to see any of that coming this year. Obviously, we don't know. We're prepared. If that is the case, our attorneys are well aware of everything that's going on and what's happening. But I don't see it really climbing into anything supernatural at this point, similar to what we saw in 2022 with COVID. So, all right, guys. Well, I am just excited to get out there. I'm excited to meet with you guys face to face. Again, download the tour schedule, share it with all of your colleagues. I'd love as many people as possible to be there so they can meet me in person. Maybe people that aren't even connected to us. We want to make sure that everyone understands the work that we're doing, why we're doing it, and why we're so adamant about really creating an organized movement in Australia. So we love you. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you in a couple weeks. All right, guys. God bless. All right, Canada. So we have filed a letter in British Columbia as it relates to the X-ray. There is a new College of Contemporary Medicine, which chiropractic falls under, that are now meeting. The College of Chiropractic has been disbanded as of the end of June. So we're moving forward to continue to challenge that policy as it relates to the X-ray issue. We've also been working, as you know, with a number of organizations on Bill 36. Now we're starting to, we're waiting to see what the government plans to do as far as enforcement of some of those policies, or how the college is actually going to respond to some of the language within Bill 36. We've shared that with you from the very beginning, that we're monitoring this. Our legal teams are prepared that if they do try to really enforce some of the ridiculousness of those bills, that we will be there to defend it. But in the coalition, we're actually working to advance some language to really neuter, if you will, Bill 36, to take away some of the fangs, if you will, from that particular bill, so that it makes more sense for the healthcare community in British Columbia. But we'll give you more information as we have on that particular issue. Things are starting to heat up a little bit in Quebec. We've seen a couple bills that have been introduced. At this time, they do not affect chiropractic, but the language within the bills is a little scary, giving the colleges a lot of authority and a lot of autonomy to be able to make decisions. Where the word on the street is that we're expecting chiropractic to be included in years to come. But right now it does not affect chiropractic, but we're still very concerned about the way that reads. And so we're going to be proactive. I'm starting to talk with a number of groups. I am trying to reach out to the association in Quebec and talk with them and figure out how we can work together like we do in other parts of the world, and really have a very organized approach to ensuring and protecting the rights of chiropractors within Quebec. So hopefully we'll have some more information on that soon. As far as Ontario, we have retained another attorney. We are looking at another position there in the country, in Ontario, to really right some wrongs that we believe have been created or existed within the college. We're going to be monitoring that a little bit further. We're getting opinions on everything, but it does look like we will be moving forward with this fairly soon. And I hate to be cryptic with you, but we know that people are watching our videos. The colleges are writing letters back, stating that they're watching them. So obviously, which is fine. Anyone's allowed to watch these. I have nothing to hide, but I also am not going to give away strategy and let everyone know what's going on at all points. But I do want to let you know that there's some activity happening again in Ontario, and we'll share more of that with you once I get the green light from our legal team. So again, as always, lots going on in Canada, guys. So we will be back at you. I will be coming out to Vancouver in October. I will be speaking at the Lux Talks, and excited to be out there finally for the first time. I haven't been out there yet, so make sure that you pay attention to that. We'll be sending some information out in August. I know there's early registration, and they did provide a discount code for our contributors. So I will be sending that stuff out to you in a separate email, but I do want to let you know I'm coming out in October in Vancouver, and excited to be a part of that day. So we'll be sharing more with you as we get closer. But Canada, we love you. We're going to keep fighting on your side, and we will make chiropractic the number one healthcare choice in Canada as soon as we possibly can. All right. We appreciate you guys. God bless. All right, United States. Hey, guys, still doing a lot of work on the animal chiropractic front. Was just actually communicating with New Hampshire. There's going to be some language moving through there, and it looks like that's going to move in a very positive direction. We've been having more conversations in California. Texas has been a little quiet over the summer, but I think things are going to ramp back up. We're communicating with the group that's leading that charge there. So again, I want you to be aware, a number of you sent me an email that there was an article that was written in the Veterinary Practice News that actually quoted us, or not quoted us, but cited us as an organization that's working to standardize this language. We did send back a letter to the editor, to the magazine. I'm not sure if they're going to choose to write it or publish it or share it, but we did do a letter to the editor combating some of the assumptions that were made in that article. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't overly concerned about the article. I think, it could have been a lot worse as far as a hit piece, but, we did want to clarify exactly what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. I think one of the biggest issues is everyone thinks that we're trying to open up animal chiropractic to all chiropractors licensed in the state, and that's not what's happening. And so we're trying to educate those that are involved on really what it is we're asking. The veterinary population should be in agreement with what it is we're doing. If they stop and look and listen at what we're actually saying and what we're trying to provide, we actually help them. And we're helping the chiropractic boards to have a little bit more teeth to be able to, regulate that population a little bit better. But we're just continually moving on that. The other big exciting news is the Academy for the Advancement of Animal Chiropractic is launching their membership organization to do advocacy. It's going to be the one-stop shop place. We're going to work closely with them. For anyone in this animal chiropractic space, if you want to know what's going on, that's going to be the place. We're hoping that they're going to launch that in late July, early August. So we'll be sure to communicate that with everybody as well. But we're excited that, we're organizing that space, which is really what's needed to be done. Everybody's on board, AVCA, IVCA, everybody knows what's going on. And so we're excited to be able to create some organization and spearhead that movement to ensure that that space has the support that it needs. We're going to continue to fight legislatively and legally, but they've needed someone to really take the lead when it comes to advocating, being a resource center for those providers that are certified and want to move forward in their particular state. So excited to be collaborating with them and seeing that expand and meet a need in that particular space. We're also have had a little bit of a move with our military case. If we've been working with the Unified Virginia Chiropractic Association as it relates to a VA issue where the VA in Hampton, Virginia has just all of a sudden stopped allowing chiropractic. They're just denying whether it's continued visits or even new visits. We believe we have an individual within that VA that just kind of has a hair in their bonnet and not liking chiropractic for whatever reason. This has gotten the attention of the media. We've pulled in a number of our VIPs, our resources, our people that are well connected to figure out what's going on with that Hampton VA. So I think we're hearing word on the back street that this is going to get fixed relatively quick now that the attention's been drawn. So kudos to the Unified Virginia Chiropractic Association for the work that they're doing. We were happy to collaborate and bring some attention to this as well. But we're hoping that we'll start seeing a lift on that unofficial ban as it relates to the VA work there in Hampton, Virginia. We're also expecting the government, as you can imagine, is pretty much stalled right now as we're entering in the election season. We are still working with the committees for armed services, talking about our pilot project. So it's just kind of been on a pause for a little while as all the craziness of the government is going on this year. But I just didn't want you to think we had stopped doing that. We are still committed to ensuring that our active duty families and servicemen and women get ample access to chiropractic. So all that work is still continuing. And we're going to continue to press forward. I don't have an update for you on our legal case with the insurance companies. I will be meeting with our attorneys related to that particular matter here in the next week and a half. So the next update, I'll be able to share with you where we're at with the class action. So as always, man, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for your support in the United States. And we're going to continue to press forward, guys. God bless you. All right, guys, that's our update for this week. I'll be back at you in a couple of weeks to give you even more of what's going on around the world. So do me a favor, keep viewing this, keep sharing it with your colleagues, and let's continue to work together to make sure that we're making chiropractic the #1 healthcare choice in the world. All right, guys, we love you. God bless.